Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. It is nice to see you. I'm live here from London. Well, I'm not live, this has been recorded and uploaded later, but we're here in London for the match reaction to Celtic 3, Hearts 0. It's one of these classic few pints deep, hand in the air, shaking, trying to sustain my strength in the biceps to hold the phone up. Sort of match reactions that are a wee bit more off the cuff, a wee bit more raw, but still nonetheless here for you to watch. If you do enjoy, you know what to do, hit like and subscribe. I want to say first of all, a massive shout out to the underground CSC here based in, you're going to laugh, be mature about it, in the Cock Tavern in London. I believe we're near Euston. I think that's where we are. I'm not too sure. Londoners will know. But we're here to watch the game. We were watching it inside. It was absolutely fantastic. Great wee boozer. Brilliant place. Brilliant people. Massive shout out. If you're ever in London and you want to go and watch one of the Celtic games, no matter if it's a 3 o'clock kick-off, an early kick-off, late kick-off, Champions League derby, get yourself down to the Cock Tavern, right? And don't let the name put you off. Great performance today from Celtic, great result for Celtic. I'll try and keep it brief so you don't need to put up with my wobbly arms throughout the video. But really what we needed, and we said that in the podcast coming into this game, didn't we? We said that Celtic were going to need a kind of statement performance, a statement, oh look at that, whoa, a statement performance today. They needed a big result, and they had to put to bed the doubts that maybe crept in a little bit after that derby, where a few key players weren't looking like themselves, and I thought there was a bit of an overreaction to that. The concerns were genuine and warranted, I would say, after the derby. You know, we had to talk about the tactical disadvantage we put ourselves at through the way that we set up, through how the manager put us out in the field. We didn't look as though we could match Rangers, but there was a lot of players, Johnston, Vickers, Kuhn, the three ones that come to mind, who looked really poor compared to their usual standards. And you know, you look at Kuhn especially, he was one of these guys that after the game people were going, I don't mind if he leaves in the summer. And today he needed a big performance, and I said this in the controversial opinions video we done the other day. I think we'd be daft to be so keen to see Kuhn go. If we were to sit here and go, oh, Kuhn should leave the club in the summer, to push him out the door would be a nonsense opinion. And I think today's performance makes me stand by it, because he's very influential in the first goal. In fact, he's very unlucky not to pick up an assist during the build to the first goal. He gets an assist for the third goal. He looked back to himself today, and that's 2 goal contributions onto a season where he's flying in with them. So we needed a statement performance, we needed a statement result. I predicted 4-0 Celtic. I wanted it to be 4-0 Celtic. We weren't far away from it. With a wee bit more luck, we might have got to it today. We just needed that, and everybody looked as though they were ready to put that derby behind them and what happened in the derby behind them. Everybody looked as though they were ready to try and certainly make amends for what went wrong, and for a lot of people maybe they're still forgiven to make up. There's still stuff to do that will get everybody back on side and full of momentum and confidence, but it's a team that's well and truly on their way to 4 in a row, and that's what we need to remember. And today, beating Hearts of all teams as convincingly as we did, I think we can all leave pretty happy. I'm standing up because it makes it a wee bit easier on the arm. Holding a phone up for 4 minutes straight is not nice. But anyway, first half performance, we were great. I thought the first 10 minutes we actually looked a little bit shaky. One big shout out that I want to take from the first 10 minutes was Vinny Sensalo's big save early on, which on another day, you know, it could very easily maybe go in the net. The keeper doesn't do his job, and he needed that wee bit of confidence, I think, and a wee bit of reassurance to the Celtic fans that he can pull off these sorts of saves. It wasn't a spectacular save by any means, but you can't underestimate the importance of it, because if Hearts get a goal that early in the game, it changes everything, doesn't it? It changes the whole complexion of the game, the way that we move forward, the way that Hearts move forward. It certainly would have turned the atmosphere a little bit. I don't want to maybe use the word toxic, but it certainly would have turned the atmosphere in Celtic Park a little bit on its head. And it was a big save, and I don't want that to go underestimated or undermined, because it was huge. And obviously him coming in today was an inconvenience to Celtic goals and Kasper Schmeichel, but it was also the opportunity, and the positive to flip on it was that we're getting to see Sensal, we're getting to test him out, and it's a huge opportunity for him, isn't it? So Sensal comes in, makes that big save early on. I thought we were a wee bit ropey for the first 10 minutes. We looked maybe not spooked, but certainly not comfortable. There was a few slack passes. Hearts were certainly looking at what Hibs and Rangers done to us in their previous defeats and trying to apply that to the first 10 minutes of the game, but we handled it, we settled it, and then when we got got past that kind of barrage in the first 10 minutes and that little bit of nerve that was maybe there, we were back to our normal selves. We were back to being Celtic, and the goals start flowing and the football starts getting played. And my, oh my, some of the football we were playing was absolutely fantastic. The first goal comes through none other than Dyson Maeda, who just continues what he's doing. Unlucky not to score initially. He meets up with the follow-up, gets the goal. Absolutely fantastic stuff. And listen, that front three today just looked as though they were clicking. You know, they looked as though they were clicking today. Kuhn back to what looked like his best. Maeda just once again showing through the middle how good, how useful he is. Really making this situation a difficult one for Adam Maeda. And you know me, I'm a huge Maeda fan and I want to see him get his chances. But how can you justify starting Adam Maeda over Dyson Maeda at the minute when he keeps doing this? 30 goals this season for Dyson Maeda. It's not often you see a 30 goal player at Celtic, a season player. You know, we talk about that 40 goal season at Griffiths, Scott. It was a real standout, it was huge. We talk about, you know, when we seen Kyogo at his best, but hitting 30 goals at this point, when we're not even done with March, is insane. Maeda can still go on to go and score 40 goals this season. 40 goals. That is just, he's special, and this new contract that we've apparently offered him, please put pen to paper, Dyson, because we need it. With the flow of the attacking play was great, fantastic. We get the second through Jota, arm up, brilliant to see him score at Parkhead. I wish I was there for it, to be quite honest. I'm gutted that I spent my time here rather than up in Parkhead. And then obviously we get the third and the game's done, and Celtic never really looked back. Did the intensity drop a little bit? Of course it did, but I think in games like this it's the exception that you can make, and generally the performance and the result, when you look at it in totality, there's nothing to complain about. Of course, Maeda gets a second, Celtic are flying, nothing to worry about, and generally we just see out the game the way we need to. We could have got another couple, we're unlucky not to maybe find them, and the game does slow down its tempo a wee bit, but it's game management. It's trying to just keep ourselves going for the rest of this season, to try and get this league wrapped up as soon as we can, to try and go to Hampden, make sure we get ourselves into a Scottish Cup final. It was so nice to see the return of Paulo Bernardo, of James Forrest today. I think that's two of the biggest things that we need to take away from today's game, the fact that they are back. Paulo Bernardo especially has been dearly missed. The quality that he offers to the middle of the park, whether it's from the bench, whether he's starting, is something that probably shouldn't be underestimated, and it's something that I think we've all really missed. Paulo Bernardo for me is a great player, and I would like to see him get his starts soon, if he's ready, if he's fully fit to get them. It's not as if I'm leaving today's cameo from him going, oh, he done this, done that. He came on and he was fine, and it's just good to see him on the pitch again. And Forrest, well, I'm just hoping he can continue his streak. I'm hoping he can get a goal whenever it comes. And I wanted to talk about one other thing. Defensively, we weren't really tested today. Let's be real, Hearts weren't in the game, aside from that first 10 minutes that I spoke about, where they were really trying to go for it, really trying to lay down something early on and give us something to think about. They weren't really in the game at all, but when they were, defensively we were really good today. We've seen a massive improvement from Alistair Johnson on top of that derby, so fair play. We've seen a big improvement from Vickers on that last derby, so fair play. And they too really needed that, especially Johnston, after the disappointment of his derby performance. But we need to talk about Nawrocki again. We need to talk about Nawrocki. And I know that, once again, it's not one of those games where I'm leaving it going, oh, Bill, you know, he's had a blinder or whatever, because he's not. He's done his job. He's not had much to do. I'm not going to overrate him or say something that never happened. But once again, just bringing up the questions as to why he's been in this weird situation. It's got to be training related, surely, because on the park again today, he looked fine. He looked comfortable, he looked confident, he looked good, dare I say, and I hope to see more of him. I really do. So big shout out to him, big shout out to Vinny Sinsalo. I thought Jeffrey Schlupp was great. Defensively, for as little as we had to do, they deserve their flowers, they deserve the recognition for the performance today, because they still have a job to do. Whether they're quiet or not, they still have a job to do. The confidence builds from the back. It radiated through the whole team today, and we just seen a massive upgrade on the performance that we dropped against Rangers, which was an all-time stinker, wasn't it? So in general, very pleased about today, very happy with the performance. It's good to get back to winning ways, and with such an authoritative sort of win as well. It's big for us, it's big for the supporters now to just breed that momentum back into the support, and we can go into next week smiling and happy, I hope. Smiling and happy. I'm moving underneath this sort of canopy area because it's freezing. And on that note, I'm going to wrap up the video. I know it's one of those hectic match reactions which you'd probably finish off going, why did I even watch this? But God bless the Brodge, God bless Jota, Kuhn, Maeda, McGregor, the whole lot, every single leather belt in that team, God bless them. I'm going to go and finish my Guinness, I'm going to get myself out for a wee meal, and tomorrow we'll hopefully sit down, if not tomorrow, Monday, we'll sit down the channel with a better point of view than my shaky arm to discuss the game in more depth. But until then, please take care of yourselves. Hail, hail, Celtic are well on track for 4-0, so all is hunky-dory. Right, God bless, and I'll see you all next time.